Hey guys, so this is the number guesser assignment for week 2 that I want us to kind of continue to play with. So if you watched this video on CS50 JavaScript, we're going to kind of steal from what he's playing with and just make a submit area that'll pop up with their name. So this is what it's going to look like at the end. And the styling, I think, is ugly, but I was just playing with different things just to show you that it can be something from the norm. If you like the normal basic stuff, that's fine. I was just playing with it. But the way this is going to work is similar to whatever he showed in his example. Is it will say hello, Tasha Penwell, or whatever your name is. I didn't replicate it exactly. I'm not in this video. It's not going to replicate what he does exactly. I do, even though this is the JavaScript class, there's got some CSS styling in it just for shits and giggles, more or less, just to play with. And because playing is how you practice, and practice is how you learn. And learning is how you get more comfortable with it. And being more comfortable with it is the goal, right? And I think I'm done doing that. But anyways, so he talks about it. He uses the string concatenation. I may not be saying string concatenation right, but that's okay. He uses string concatenation is basically, if you remember from last week, is where they use like the plus symbols. Okay. And he's got a function here. This is the only function in this particular homework assignment. And he's got the function of greet. It's got a variable. I'm using let. It's a name because it's let because we want it to change, right? It's not always going to be the same. And looking at the document, and they're doing a query selector, which is one of the built-in functions or methods, something like that within JavaScript. And we're going to look for an ID named name and dot value, the value that's going to be in that box whenever I type in my name, it comes up with a value of what my name is. And alert, pop-up alert. So if you watch this video, he went over that, earlier, but it's going to pop up. That pop-up box is an alert box. It says hello, da da da. And this is how you actually put the form in the body. So he's in an HTML document, and he's got the script here within the head, and then in the body is where you actually put the form. So we're going to do that and make some tweaks to it. So that's what this video is going to go over, and then that's also going to be your homework assignment. So I got the file, and I'll share this with you guys in GitHub. Same thing that we did last week. So first thing we need to do is add the script tag. So I don't think that this is in the original file, so you'll have to add this maybe. Maybe this will be in there, maybe it won't. I don't know. But basically, make sure you're in the head. And we got the script tags, the opening script tag and the closing script tag. So let's see. I need to see what he did. So we're going to declare a function. Function's going to be named greet. Okay. And remember, this is how we declare a function with the word function. Greet is our identifier, which is basically what we're calling our function. This is the name of our function. We do the open curly, and we're going to declare a variable, let name equals, and do document, which is basically looking at this document, query selector, and he goes more involved in what a query selector is in the video. Now let him explain that because I really want you guys to watch this video. Query selector is going to be name and value. I think I got that wrong. Let's see what he had.
This is JavaScript programming.
Query selector name. Okay, I got quotes. I'm missing quotes. Single quotes. Double should work, but we're going to go with singles. And period value. And there's no shame in looking at this stuff, looking it up as you type it. This is, it's always funny whenever I talk to other instructors, or they're asking, he's like, what do you think about them looking up the answers on, or they say cheating. And I'm like, no, that's just how we do it. It's not cheating. That's just how you do it. So that's kind of almost kind of comical whenever people get, ask my opinion on this. Like, what do you think about them looking at the answers when they submit I'm like, that's what they're supposed to do. Because remember, all of this is just no. You'll start remembering as the more you do it, but just remember off the wall for whatever reason. Nope, don't do that. Anyways, so we got that first line. Let name equals document dot query selector. We're looking for the ID of name, which you'll see down here, and we're looking for the value, which is basically the name that we type in. And like I've been typing in Natasha. And we're going to create the alert of alert and doing hello. And I'm going to do backticks. This is one way I'm going to deviate from him. I'm going to do the string interpolation instead of the string concatenation. So
language that I did.
So he's got like the quote, which is fine. But then he's got like using the plus symbols and then using spaces and extra quotes and stuff. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to do it my way, which is string interpolation. So we're going to do what the string interpolation is the backtick, which is right before the number 1. Hello. So it doesn't need quotes since we're doing string interpolation. We don't need quotes. Hello. And then for the string interpolation, you call the variable with the dollar symbol, open curly, the name of the variable, which was name, the close curly, and then just the exclamation point. Don't have to worry about extra spaces anywhere. And do the backtick, closing backtick. So it has an opening backtick and a closing backtick. And then it has this dollar symbol and an opening closing curly with the variable name in between. And let's see. So I already got the closing parentheses, and this should be good on that. Yep. Okay. So now we're going to, I'm not going to worry about the styling right now. That'll be later. Now we're going to go to the form. So the form tags are already in here. So let's see how he's at it. Form on submit. So what we're telling is like once when the form is submitted, which is basically us hit the submit button, it's going to pop up with that alert of hello, whoever. And we're going to call it that function, which is how we pops up with hello, whoever. And the name of the function was greet, which was right here. And then, let's see, we're going to return false. Now, if you watch the video, which I recommend again, he'll talk about how the reason we do I think I got a oopsie here somewhere. Looks funky. Maybe not. If you watch the video, it talks about whenever you have an alert on something, it'll automatically pop up as soon as the window loads. It just pops up. So it's really annoying. And you don't want it always popping up. You want it to not pop up until you call for it. So he goes into that in a little bit more detail, but basically having this return false is going to let it not pop up and be annoying when you're not ready for it. Okay, so we have an input type, and these are not things that we've covered yet, but this is a great way to introduce it. Input type is another HTML element. Input type, so it's the kind of type that you're inputting, which in this case is text. There's various types of input type, but this one is text. And the ID is going to be name, because that's what we're looking for here. Remember, an ID is like it's like a unique identifier, can only be used once. So that's why it's like a dollar, or not dollar. What's that called? Hashtag symbol, because kind of like your social security number and student ID number, it's unique to you and it's only used once. So that's your ID. Boom, 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 boom. So do the closing caret, and then we do the opening caret type. And this type, we want it to be the submit button, which it just knows that it was part of it. It's already built into HTML. It just knows what submit does. That's a button. Just like it just knows with text, it's going to create that little text box, and submit is going to create that little text, that little button. It froze on me. I didn't freeze on me. Okay, and so I'm going to hit save, and I'm going to see what this looks like so far. See if I mucked it up or not. So I'm down here. Here's the name of the file that I'm working on. Right click on it, open with live server. Okay, so you can see it up here. You have to kind of look for it because it kind of blends in, which is kind of where I kind of went with this. It doesn't blend in anymore now, does it? So now we're going to work on the styling, but it's functional, I'm assuming. Yep, it says hello, Tasha Pinwell. Hit OK. So I mentioned earlier this return false thing. Let's see if I took that out and see what would happen. Refresh it. Okay, it made a liar out of me. Okay, maybe the other code is okay, it's got a function built into it. So let's say I'm going to comment this out if I can. There we go. And let's just do the alert. And he goes over this in the video. Okay, see, it says hello all. It's really annoying. As soon as you open up that window, it's just pop up and then you get rid of it. You don't want that. That's super annoying. Don't ever do that unless you have a really good reason to. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that. Go back on track here. Just wanted to show you that in case you haven't watched the video, but you really should. So I want to go ahead and put return false on here, which may not be necessary anymore since this is now built into a function, but just in case. I'm doing it because the video said so. I'm still okay here. Okay, I'm still okay. So now, like I said, the submit text area and the submit button, it kind of really blends in. You have to really look for it. So we want to give it some styling. So I'm back in the styling tags, and we're doing embedded, or as I call it, internal styling. And you can know it's on the same page as the HTML, and you can see it's in between the head. Okay. So let's go ahead and give it some styling. I want some styling for form. Oh, what did I do? I don't remember what I did now. Yeah, for form. So what I wanted to do was I didn't want this in the top left-hand corner like that. I want it to be out a little bit. So I'm going to go to form. Well, I'm not going to go to form. See, form is already an HTML element that already exists. It's already prefabbed. We don't have to worry about creating a class or an ID out of it. So I just type in form. I don't need a period or a hashtag. And we do the open just like how we usually do normal styling. So margin left equals, I'm going to do something like 30 pixels. And I don't want it so close to the top. So I'm going to do margin top, and it's going to be, it doesn't matter, 30 pixels. Whatever you want. You don't have to mimic me on that. So I'm going to do a little bit more. Okay, looks like it's moving the whole page down, so that might not be what I'm wanting. So let's kind of go back up a little bit. What it's doing is moving the whole page down. That's not quite what I'm wanting. So let's leave margin. Let's do padding instead. So what it was doing, it was like you can see the whole page is starting to move. And I don't want the whole page to move. I just want it to not, the form not to be like this right here, not to be up in the corner so tight. So let's do padding. Padding and margin are not the same. So let's do padding, 20 pixels. Let's do padding up, 20 pixels. Okay, so the page isn't down here anymore. We can see all the content, and it's still away. So padding is what we want, not margin. Because what margin does is it moves the whole thing from the top and the side of the browser window. That's not what I want. I just want some extra room here. I just want some extra room here without moving the whole entire page. So this is what I want. So let's give it some extra styling here. So, okay, that's form. So we got some inputs. So input is another type of prefabbed HTML element that it just knows what it is, and all we have to do is what kind of type we want. It knows that text is this little text box. It knows that submit is this little submit button. Okay. So if I just do input, because it's already a prefab HTML element, and I say I want it to be background color blue, and let's just do that. Okay, it does that, but it does it on some other stuff, like it did it here. I don't want it here. And it did it all of that, and that looks horrible. I changed my mind. I don't want the submit button to be blue. I don't, whatever. I don't like this, that everything changed. I just want it like this box to change and not everything. Okay. So input's not what I want. I want something specific for this kind of input, and I want something specific for this kind of input. And the other input that exists in here, I don't want to touch that. I want that to leave that alone. So I don't want input. So save this, and let's see if it goes back to normal, and it does. So let's add some class to it. I could add an ID, but I'm afraid it might muck things up here because this ID is already being used. Class I can use multiple times, but I only want to use it once. It's fine either way. I'm going to do class equals, I want to do text box, something like that. And then, so I'm going to do, let's see, we're doing a class. So remember, I got my period in class. I'm sorry if that offends you, but that's the way I remember it. Period, text box, not equals, the open curly thing. I don't like that being up there. There we go. And I'm going to do background color black. Again, this can be whatever color you want. Make it somewhat decent color. Don't do something really weird, but something that would look halfway decent. And I want the background color to be black. So I don't want my font to be black, right? Because then they wouldn't be able to see it. So I want it to be white. Okay, let's see what happens now. Okay, it's black and my font's white. Great. It's kind of small. It's too small. So let's change the size. Font size. And we get some stuff that pops up here. I want to go with extra large. So it changes the size of it. And my font size is bigger, so it's easier to see. Okay. So I'm pretty happy with that. We'll keep with that for right now. And same thing here. I want my submit button to be bigger. So I am going to make a class equals submit button. Excuse me. So remember, I got my period in class, so it's submit button. Background color, want to do it black. Color of the word submit is going to be white. Let's see. Go ahead and do font size and see what happens. Extra. This is extra large. Let's see what we look at now. Okay, so submit's black with white content or with white text. It's the same size as this, which is fine. Let's say I want to have a border around it. I got my semicolon. Border, say I want it to be 1 pixel. I don't know, red. Red, solid. Okay, so you can see it's got a red solid border. And say I want my border to be rounded. I want it to be a rounder button. Border radius, 20 pixels. Let's see what that gives me. Okay, so it gives me a rounder button. You can play with the pixels, but it's a little too close in. I want some more padding in there. Boom, 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 boom. Damn you. There we go. So I want padding. I can just do padding, and it's going to do all the sides, top, right, left, bottom, the same size padding. I'm going to do 10 pixels. Let's see what that does. Okay, it's a little bit bigger. But it's 10 pixels all the way around. It's supposed to be anyways. I don't know if it quite is, but anyways, it's supposed to be. But say I want my padding to be on top only 2 pixels. And then let's see what happens with that. Okay, I think this is a little bit higher, so let's give it something else so I can actually make sure it's working. And this is where I call being curious. Okay, so it is working. So you can see how you can customize the padding, but say I just want padding to be different on, top and between the top and the bottom and the right and the left, but I don't want to do padding top, padding bottom, padding. What I could do, back up a little bit. What I could do is padding top. I'm going to give it some dimension so it's pretty noticeable. 15 pixels. Padding bottom. 15 pixels. Padding left. 10 pixels. And padding right. 10 pixels. Pixels. Okay, so it does that. So the top and the bottom are a little bit bigger because they're 15, and the right and the left are 10 each. But I don't want to do all of that. I don't want to type 4 lines of code. But you can do a shortcut. Let's just do padding. And it goes from, if I remember correctly, top, kind of like a circle, top, right, left, bottom. So I want my top to be, let's do 12 pixels. That's the top. The right is 5 pixels. The bottom, I want to be 12 pixels again. And then I want the left to be 5 pixels. Okay, so it changed it with only 1 line of code there. Okay. I think there's even a shorter way of doing that, but I don't 100% remember how to do it. So I'm not. So basically, that's kind of what I want you to do. I want you to play with it. This doesn't look like this one does. This one had a green border on the text box, and I'm not so much concerned how you style it as long as you style it for practicing purposes. And the function, I know we probably spent more time on CSS on HTML than we did on function, but if you watch the JavaScript video, you'll get more out of it. But this is just a way to practice and continue to customize and build this number guesser game. And yep, there's that. So I'm going to go ahead and submit. Want to undo everything that I've done here because that's what you're supposed to do as part of the assignment Then I'll go ahead and put everything in GitHub. There's going to be 4 files, I think. Yeah, there's going to be 4 files. There's going to be 2 JavaScript and 1 CSS and this index HTML. And you need all 4 files. You're only editing the index file or the HTML file, but you need all 4 files, the 2 JavaScript and the CSS files, for it to look and work the way you need it to. Okay. So, oopsie, looks like, what did I do here? Oh, okay. I thought I did something there. I didn't. It just, the browser was being weird. Okay, so that's it for this video. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you.